Hey guys, Daniel Decker here, Spotlight Branding. I'm excited to have a client of ours and a good friend of mine, Chris Clark, joining us today. And I just want to have a little conversation. Chris has a relatively new law practice, but he's been in the legal profession for a while. And he's figured out a lot of things, does a lot of things right. So Chris, thanks for being here. And I just want to start by, will you tell us a little bit about the law office of Chris Clark and what you do?
Absolutely. As Daniel said, I've been practicing law for almost 17 years now. Started my own firm about a year and a half ago. And really, what we do is focused in two main areas. We do business and corporate law, and we also do intellectual property in the form of trademark and copyright law. Our client base is a pretty good mix of various sizes of business. We really focus on serving entrepreneurs and growing businesses. And so that niche where we can come in and either help someone start a business or help an early stage business grow and avoid costly legal mistakes, that's really where our sweet spot is.
Yeah, love that. And one of the things I really like about you, Chris, is I feel like you've got a lot of entrepreneur in you, right? And so you're a lawyer, but you're also a business owner, and you understand that. And so I think it's really cool how much you've done sort of in the technological process, like improvement and automation. And you have created a law firm that runs very efficiently and allows you to serve your clients at a high level with minimal overhead. So can you talk a little bit about some of the, you told me about some really cool email automation you've built in. Just tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, and this is something that I could go on and on about for a long time, because this really is something that I'm passionate about. I went to law school and I spent all this time practicing law and learning how to be a good lawyer, but I'm really still in the early stages of figuring out how to be the best business owner that I can be. But you're right. I think improving efficiency through technology is where the future of law practice is. And I think the firms that embrace technology, and as you mentioned, automation, and I'll even include artificial intelligence in there, the firms that embrace those technologies are really going to have a competitive advantage, I feel. And so that's what we're trying to do now. To really answer the question that you asked, we do have some technological workflows that I've built myself, just using some off-the-shelf, readily available things like, the G Suite products from Google allow you to really connect to a lot of different automation tools like If This Then That and Zapier and things like that. And so using those things, I've built two processes that have really saved us a ton of time and improved efficiency, and I'll just touch on those real quick. The first one is our intake process. Now, there's a lot of great providers out there that offer law practice management software that includes some automated intake tools. And I tried those out, but I didn't really like them for my particular practice. I didn't feel like they were a good fit. So just using Zapier and Google Forms and an app called UltraDoc, I've automated my intake process to the point where I send a new client a Google form that just takes literally probably 30 seconds to a minute to fill out. And once they submit that Google form, it triggers several different actions within the back end of our law firm. For example, it adds a folder to our cloud storage system where we store all our client files, so that there's already a folder there. When we're ready to start doing work, we don't have to create the folder, it's already there. It adds them to our time and billing software, and it creates a new matter for them and a new contact within our contact system. And it also creates a new email folder for them in our client email platform. So all of those things happen automatically. And last thing, it generates a draft of their engagement letter automatically.
That's awesome.
Now, it's not ready to send at that point. I've still got to go in and just tweak a few things, but it's way more efficient and time-saving than having to draft it from scratch, or even just start with a form and fill things in.
Yeah. So it saves you some manual labor, and then it also just saves you some mental clutter, right? Because you just don't have to go through all of those tedious tasks. You can just jump right into, the stuff that matters.
Yeah, we've actually got a We've actually, part of this process of learning to be a business owner is trying to put some processes and guidelines in place. And we're working up right now what we call DMGs, or decision-making guidelines. And one of them is, if you find yourself on your computer doing the same task 3 or more times over and over again, we should try to find a way to automate it. And so that's just how we're constantly trying to think of, okay, are there ways to become more efficient? And I think that not only helps our clients because we're more efficient and we can get their work done faster, but it helps our team because nobody wants to sit there and do repetitive tasks over and over again all day. And so, those are some of the reasons we think that it's just, really helping us as we start to figure out who we are as a law firm.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. Really cool. So one more thing I want to touch on here. I think that you have probably figured out some things that a lot of lawyers, especially maybe some of our clients who are in the earlier stages of building their business, really haven't figured out from a business development standpoint. And I think that you are, and I'd like you to talk about this a little bit, just really, really good at building a network and really investing into relationships and understanding that at the end of the day, you can have a website and you can get involved in SEO, or there's a lot of things you can do, but at the end of the day, people want to hire a lawyer that they know, like, and trust. And you're really good at getting yourself out there, getting in the sort of the right spaces where your clients and referral sources are. So can you just talk a little bit about kind of your approach to business development?
Yeah, absolutely. So I would say there's 3 things that I would touch on. One is, I think relationship development is probably the key. That's the foundation of my business development philosophy. People like to work with people they like, and I'm no exception. And I, the favorite parts of the work that I do are working with people I like, clients, vendors, everyone that I come across. It just makes your life more pleasant. And I think, when you're talking about a business development or a marketing strategy, you can't lose sight of that. That's got to be part of it. So that first piece is just trying to establish and cultivate those relationships, whether it's from time to time, having lunch or coffee with referral sources or clients or things like that, or just sort of staying in touch with them through things like a monthly newsletter that we send out and things like that. So that cultivating the relationship is the first piece. Second piece I think that's really helped me is I've tried to, when I can, go out and speak at events. And our law firm hosts a monthly event where occasionally I'm the speaker, but really more often I invite other lawyers to come and speak. And that's a little bit of a controversial business development strategy because a person could ask, well, if you're trying to grow your law firm, if you're trying to develop business for your law firm, why are you featuring these other lawyers, from your area? But I look at it differently because I feel like, I want to be that trusted advisor for my clients, and I want them to feel like if they have a need that I can't meet, they know, Chris has a network of other lawyers.
Well, and I love that. And even if you aren't the featured speaker every time, it's still your community. Like, True. You're building the community.
True.
And no, so I think that's awesome. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, and then the third thing is really, a consistent, effective online presence. And the way that I view that is, I view that really as a support for the other business development work that I do. And so, having a great website that people give me compliments on, having my, as I mentioned, that monthly email newsletter. I think, Danny, I heard you on a podcast one time say, this is one of the most effective, both in terms of developing business and cost-effective things that a law firm can do is that monthly newsletter, and that has proven to be true 100% for me. And then really like a smart, cohesive social media strategy where, I feel like my presence on social media, which you guys have helped a ton with, is appropriate. I'm not inundating people with stuff, but I'm there enough to keep me top of mind with people who follow me on social media, which is, in my view, exactly the goal that I'm looking for. And so, having good content on my blog that you guys can then go and push out through various social media channels is crucial. So I think it's those 3 things: the relationships, the sort of public visibility at events, and the digital marketing side is really what's been successful for me.
Love it.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Chris. Thanks for coming by today.
Enjoyed it. Thanks.
All right, guys. See you later.